What would happen? If you stopped juggling, stopped rushing, stopped holding too much, too long. What if simplicity wasn't boring, but freeing, like cold wind through a window, like throwing off a coat that never fit, like silence in a world that never shuts up? Everyone's busy, everyone's chasing, everyone's tired. They say it's normal, but deep down, you know it's not. You're not meant to survive your days. You're meant to feel them, to walk light, to think clear, to live deep. You don't need another tip or another goal, you need less. Less noise, less weight, less pretending. Because what's eating you alive is not too little, it's too much. Too many tabs open, too many faces worn, too many things held that were never yours to carry. So here's the question. If you peeled everything away, what would be left? Who would be left? Would it be enough? Or finally, would it be true? This isn't about escaping, it's about returning to stillness, to clarity, to something quieter and stronger. A life without complications is not a perfect life. It's an aligned one, where you know what matters and let the rest fall. Most people never get there, too afraid to drop, too wired to pause. But those who do, they move like mountains. They speak with less, they live with enough. So let's go there. Let's walk through the art of living simple and living strong. Less isn't emptiness, it's precision. It's not about cutting just to feel clean. It's cutting so what's left is true. The strong don't carry everything, they carry what matters. Everything else goes. At first it feels like loss, letting go of routines, of clutter, of people who never saw you. But over time, the weight lifts, the noise fades, and what stays is real. Real time, real peace, real clarity. It begins with noticing how full your life has become with things that don't belong. Subscriptions you don't use, people who don't listen, goals that aren't even yours. The truth is you've been carrying too much for too long, and none of it is light. Simplifying isn't comfort, it's confrontation, it's war. Against distraction, against pleasing, against the version of yourself that said yes when the soul whispered no. Start small, say no. One time, feel the space return, leave the room, delete the contact, cancel the thing you forgot you even agreed to. And when the silence comes, don't fill it, feel it. You don't need more focus, you need fewer things demanding it. Clear space. Your mind will follow. Some call it minimalism, the Stoics called it wisdom. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." So you simplify. Not because life is less, but because you have become more anchored, more precise, more awake. And in that stillness, you begin to feel a life that is lighter but never smaller. This is the art of less. And it changes everything. You carry it quietly, everywhere. The weight of expectations, of old stories, of silent guilt that never got named, the load gets heavier. But no one sees it. Because you smile, because you function, because you're fine. But deep down, you know you're carrying what was never yours. And it's time to put it down. Think of it like this. Every morning you wake up and put on a backpack. But instead of tools, it's filled with stones, dead relationships, unspoken pressure, the fear of disappointing someone who left years ago. And then you ask why you're tired. Why peace feels distant, why nothing ever feels light. The truth? You can't walk free. While dragging the past, you can't feel new when your hands are full of old weight. Unburdening is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's knowing what's yours to carry and what isn't. It's saying, I release this, not because it never mattered, but because I can't grow if I don't let go. So ask, whose approval are you still chasing? Whose silence are you still trying to fix? What mistake are you still wearing like a second skin? Whatever the answer is, that's the weight, that's what goes. Drop it, even if it feels wrong, even if the world says hold on, because the world never carried it for you. You did, alone. And now you're allowed to stop. There's strength in surrender, there's clarity in walking empty, no backup plan, no just in case. Just space to become someone new. You don't need to keep everything that hurt you. Not every wound needs to stay open. Not every chapter needs rereading. Some things aren't meant to be healed, just released. So here's the truth. When you let go of what isn't yours, you don't lose yourself. You find her, him, it, the version of you that can finally breathe. This is the unburdening, and it feels like coming home. The world is loud. Too loud to think, too loud to feel, too loud to hear yourself. There's always something playing, scrolling, buzzing, pulling you out of yourself. Silence feels strange now. Unnatural, uncomfortable. But maybe that's the point. Most people don't fear the noise. They fear what lives beneath it, the thoughts, the doubts, the truth they've buried under notifications and noise. But clarity doesn't scream. It whispers, it waits. It lives in the gaps between distractions. Turn it off, the feed, the podcast, the need to always consume. Not forever, just long enough to hear the sound of your own mind. Because noise doesn't just distract, it dulls your instincts, your creativity, your ability to sit with what is. If your mind is always full, it can't hold truth. Only reaction. Stillness isn't a luxury, it's survival. In a world addicted to speed, the ones who move slow see further. In a world obsessed with being seen, the ones who disappear find more. So practice disappearing, not from life, but from the noise. Wake up and hear nothing. Drive in silence, walk without music, work without tabs open. Sit with the discomfort, stay when it itches, wait until it doesn't. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." But he never said it would be easy. Because clarity costs. It costs noise, it costs comfort, it costs distraction. But in return, you get yourself. The world talks fast. You move slow. The world shouts opinions. You sit with questions. The world demands urgency. You choose precision. This is why you pause. Why you turn down the volume. Why you protect your inner space. Clarity doesn't come when called. It arrives when you've cleared the room. So clear it, clear everything, and wait for the silence to speak back. What if success was never about more? Not more money, not more noise, not more eyes watching you move. What if success was about alignment between what you value and how you live? Most people chase success they don't define. They run toward a finish line, built by someone else. They climb ladders leaned against the wrong wall and call it ambition. But when they get to the top, something's missing. Stillness, meaning, peace. So stop, ask yourself, what does success feel like, not look like? What makes you breathe slower, not heavier? What brings presence, not pressure? If it doesn't feed your soul, it's not success, it's just performance. Epictetus wrote, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." That's the Stoic success. To live aligned, to act with integrity, to show up as the same person everywhere. Not perfect, but rooted. Not loud, but clear. Redefine the metrics. Measure success by how much peace you carry into a room, how much silence you can sit in, how often your actions match your words. Forget what impresses. Remember what grounds you. Set fewer goals, make them deeper. Instead of chasing the title, seek the craft. Instead of chasing applause, build consistency. Instead of becoming more to others, become enough to yourself. And here's the paradox. When you stop chasing more, you become whole. Not because you achieved everything, but because you no longer need to. Your worth isn't in your resume. It's in your response to life, to failure, to stillness. True success isn't shiny, it's solid. It's not loud, it's quiet. It doesn't demand respect, it walks in it. So stop performing, start living. And let your life become something better than impressive. Let it be true. A life without complications, it's not perfect, not always peaceful, not free from storms, but it's yours. Uncluttered, undisturbed, undeniable. You simplified, not because you gave up, but because you finally knew what to let go. You unburdened, not to feel light, but to feel free. You found silence, not to escape noise, but to hear what matters. You stopped chasing success, and it found you. And now, you wake up, not to rush, but to choose. You move slower, but everything feels sharper. You speak less, but every word lands. You carry less, but you stand stronger. This is what happens when you stop living for everything and start living for the few things that are real. A life without complications is not a fantasy. It's a discipline, a decision to walk light, to see clear, to breathe deeper, and most of all, to be at peace with less. You don't need more time, you need less noise. You don't need more approval, you need fewer masks. You don't need more answers, you just need to listen to the one that's been waiting in your chest this whole time. So if today feels too heavy, drop something. Not everything, just one thing, a task, a regret, a story that no longer fits, and feel how light you were always meant to be.